Tingle Leadership has helped me gain the confidence that I needed to feel I'm ready for a CXO role. If you do and work the program the way it's designed, you'll see a big impact in your career, the way you show up, and the way people respect and honor you at your workplace.
My first 90 days in my position, I got lucky. We were doing the job hunt early on in my time with Bill, and I was able to get a job and then experience my first 90 days. And it was a step up in a role for me. So it was invaluable just having another ear to listen to my challenges that I'm facing, give me guidance on where to focus on those first 90 days. And, I even ended up keeping a journal for those first 90 days. And as I was writing my daily journal, I would think back to things that we were talking about in the leadership program and really make references to those. And then when I meet with Bill, I'd be looking back and I'd be like, oh, okay, well, let's talk about this. I had this challenge, or I failed to do this when I should have done that. And, just keeping that journal and having Bill's ear to help me through some of these challenges and help position me for success in the future was 100% invaluable. I'm definitely glad I made the investment. It's not just investing in myself. It's investing in my team, really, because I'm learning it and I'm spreading it out throughout the organization. And that just builds value for everybody, because everybody can learn from me. The organization can perform better. And I wouldn't have wanted to go through my first 90 days or even my first 7 months without an ear like Bill to lean on.
One of the other valuable aspects here has been the coaching sessions with Bill. I think being able to take specific situations that we're facing in our day-to-day into those coaching conversations and really applying and learning how to apply the behaviors and proper distinctions to those situations has really helped me reinforce that learning as well, and understand how this can apply at a foundational level across many situations.
I would recommend this program to somebody who has been a top performer and has found themselves now elevated to a level of leadership. Upon arriving at that level of leadership, it became very obvious to me very quickly that I needed a framework for success here. If I kept doing exactly what I was doing, which brought me to this level, I would only be seen as an operational doer and not a strategic thinker, not somebody who's going to help evolve and mature my organization. So my brand would effectively have hit the ceiling for exactly where I've reached at this point, right? So I would recommend this to somebody who is looking to not only be successful in their newly found, level of leadership to which they have currently risen, but for somebody who wants to ensure that the trajectory that has brought them here doesn't just peak out at this level, that they continue to add value, they see beyond this level. This is going to give you that strategy and that purpose, and it's going to give that to you in a very dedicated and driven manner that is going to take you step by step into your evolution as a better leader and a better person. In fact, one of the concerns I had coming into this program was, I'm already so strapped for time. How am I going to dedicate the focus and, give this program the attention that it deserves? Because I'm pulled in so many different directions and I can barely manage the time that I have now. What the program allowed me to understand is that it's not time management that is impacting you and is causing you to be spread so thin. It's actually commitment management.
The Tingle Leadership program for me is a must. I would highly recommend this to anyone that wants to think differently and are really eager for transformation of their mind and how they want to interact with the relationships they value the most. This coaching program, and you'll hear this again, it's just been it's opened my eyes to my humanity and my humility.
I would certainly recommend this program. the big thing for me was just working with Bill. What really stood out was, there wasn't a promise of, here's what we're gonna do, here's where you're gonna be. This is what I can do for you if you're willing to put in the work. Initially joining the program, I was thinking more for my professional life, like how would this help? And, as I went through the program and worked with Bill, a lot of this ties to just personal development. So, we talk about relationships. I initially thought, okay, my relationship with my boss, my relationship with my coworkers, but it goes deeper than that. It's relationships with yourself. How can you be a better person in relationship with your spouse, your family, and that's tremendous.
I kind of had this sense that, once I got to my next level, then I would do coaching. But I started realizing that I needed the coaching in order to get there. And I needed the coaching to navigate all these crazy times of like leaving my company and writing a book and launching a book and going into a new, career. That actually that coaching, I think that action breeds clarity. And I think the thing that was interesting to me is that sometimes if you start the coaching before you think you're ready for it, it actually helps you more. It's counterintuitive because I think a lot of times we're waiting for the next thing before we start. But that actually, even starting the coaching breeds that idea of like, that you need to take action before you feel like you're ready. You don't wait for perfect. You start the journey and you just begin. And it's amazing how that really pushes you forward and it builds that courage muscle because sometimes it's a little bit of a leap of faith when you start different things like this to understand, just how much value it brings you and how you don't have to be perfectly ready before you start a coaching program like this. Just leveling up. So I think, a lot of the people that I've seen in the program and myself have attained a certain level of leadership and abilities, but just understanding how to level those up, how to come across with an executive presence that's powerful, how to brand ourselves and be able to talk positively about ourselves without feeling like it's somehow damaging our humility or something along those lines.
Well, my hesitation about joining the program was really about timing. I was already juggling a lot of work, and I wasn't sure if I had enough bandwidth to commit to something new. And honestly, I wasn't sure what to expect from coaching. I didn't know if it would be something that actually created changes or if it would be something just another meeting on my calendar. I also wonder if a coach could really understand the challenges I was dealing with, like the leadership dynamics, the career uncertainty, all of it. But pretty early on, I realized this wasn't about adding more tasks. It was about giving me space to step back and think differently and actually make a progress. Bill also gave me a different lens on how to show up day to day. I found myself communicating with more confidence, thinking more strategically, and not getting pulled into the constant chaos around me. And honestly, one of the biggest shifts was mindset. I started making decisions from a place of confidence instead of like frustration or doubt. And that's something that carried into my career planning and how I went about it. And even the way I handle through conversations. It has made a real difference.